Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Before I start the show, I just want to show some love to all of our new subscribers and for the people listening right now live on Adobe Radio. Remember that we have a YouTube channel and we're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. We'd love for you to see our faces. And I got to say this, I've got one of the best faces on YouTube. I just won an award for that, and I'm proud of it. And it came with a cash prize that I'm going to share with my listeners soon. And for those of you going, wait, we didn't hear about this, or I can't find where this award comes from, etc. Stop Googling so much. You know what I mean? Pay taxes. Listen to the show. That should be a shirt. Pay taxes.
That's probably a shirt.
That's probably
Somebody's probably made that out there.
Absolutely. Before I introduce my really cool guest today, I wanted to talk with Peyton a little bit about our new toy. So our new toys that we're playing with.
Sorry, I'm having mic difficulties.
That's okay.
Over here.
That's okay. That's no surprise for this show, mic difficulties.
I know, always.
But Peyton and I were lucky enough to pre-order the PS5, and boy, oh boy, are we enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you tell people how much you're enjoying? You're nodding. You're smiling.
Look. I don't want to say it's the best console I've ever owned, nor do I think it's the best console on the market right now.
Really?
But it is. So, look, and I haven't played the Xbox. I haven't played the Xbox yet. It might be better. But I went with PlayStation because everything I have is on PlayStation now. And now that backwards compatibility is finally the norm now. And all my PlayStation 4 games will transfer to the 5. I had to take that route. There was no way. I would lose thousands of dollars if I didn't do that. So I have to. But the PlayStation 5 is fucking fantastic.
It is.
Okay? Miles Morales, which is what I'm playing through right now, I haven't seen a single load screen. You boot up the game. Yeah, it's got to load that. And then you press, start game. 1, 2, 3, I'm in the game. I'm in the game, and there's never a load screen.
Wow.
After that, I can go into a whole new level, and I come back out in New York in 1 second. No load screen. It's beautiful.
Wow.
I didn't know this was possible. And now I'm sure there's, some PC gamers out there being like, oh, we've had that for ages. Well, look, I don't have the money to drop thousands of dollars every 3 months when there's a new piece of technology out there.
You don't?
I don't. Look, I'm not primetime big time, so look.
You don't have thousands of dollars to spend? You're not primetime big time?
I just fucking said I'm not primetime big time, Wesam.
I know. I just wanted to hear you say it again. Bad person. Dude, how much of a piece of shit if I was being for real right there? Oh my gosh.
I think you were being for real right there.
I wasn't. I really wasn't. But no, you make a good point. Even if you had thousands of dollars to do that would be absurd.
Yeah.
That would really be absurd. Well, I got to say this. Did you know, real quick, did you see Jasmin Savoy Brown in the new Spider-Man game? She's in it.
Is that actually her? No.
Yes.
No.
I swear to you.
No.
Yes.
Wait.
Jasmine
Are you serious?
Jasmine.
Is she? No.
Hey.
No, she's not.
Yes, Jasmin Savoy Brown is in the new
That's
Spider-Man
not
game.
her.
Hey, you know what? Fine. You don't believe me? That's fine. Because you know what I'm going to do live on air? I'm going to get her to get on the phone.
Wait, holy shit. That is her. What the fuck? Holy shit. Wait. I didn't fucking realize this.
Yeah.
It looks just like her.
Yeah, that's her.
Son of a bitch.
That's her.
Holy shit. She's doing fantastic.
You should let her know that. Can I be honest with you?
Okay, hang on. Before, you don't care about the game, right?
I mean, she's in it, so.
But I can drop spoilers.
Yeah,
Spoiler warning, I'll do a timestamp on YouTube. You might want to skip a little bit if she picks up for Miles Morales, okay? Because I'm about to, I'll drop it to you real quick. Spoiler warning, 3, 2, 1. She's, the villain.
Yeah.
And she's fucking I sympathize for her character so much. I'm actually kind of rooting for her right now in the story. I want her to succeed because a big corporate company she's trying to stop, fucking evil Elon Musk, I'm not a fan of him. All right? So, my character Miles is like, oh, I need to, infiltrate and stop her. I don't really want to stop her.
Yeah.
She needs to kill evil Elon Musk.
Okay.
All right.
You want to know something? I don't know if I'm supposed to say this.
What?
But I coached her heavily on it.
Really?
Yeah. I coached her a lot on it, and even for the audition and everything, like I was coaching her, and she came over and she was like telling me about the sides and everything, and I just like, okay, let's work through it. So we coached, and while she was filming it, I was there, and like I was working with the director to help her performance in it. So, yeah, that's on record, and yep.
Well, and now I just feel like an idiot because I was sitting there and I was like, she looks familiar.
Yeah.
While I'm playing the game. Like, she looks familiar. And I never bothered to IMDb it. I should have
Yeah.
just IMDb'd it.
Yeah, that's her. And somebody else might make a cameo in it that you might recognize.
I feel like you're lying to me.
Yeah?
I have it on IMDb. Should I just look or should I?
No, leave
Are
it
you
a
being
surprise.
for real or not? Or,
I just leave it a surprise. It's,
But
it's a small cameo
okay. But there actually is a cameo I will recognize.
of somebody you might work with on a podcast. Maybe. Yeah.
I cannot tell if you're being serious.
I know,
or
man.
not.
That's
I don't
that's-
think you are.
Okay, I mean,
That's-
you're just going to have to play the game, you know? But congratulations to Jasmin Savoy Brown.
Yes.
And great performance and great coaching, I should say.
Yes.
It's really good coaching. I would say, like, the coaching is what helped.
I would say 90% of her performance is because of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to argue with you on that.
I
And
know
none of
you're
our
not.
listeners will.
That's right.
And if you're listening to this and you don't know who Jasmin Savoy Brown is, go listen to our last episode with her, and then you'll get an idea.
I feel like an idiot now.
Oh, here she
shit,
is.
there she is.
Here she is. Oh, hello, Jasmin.
Can you see me?
I cannot see you, Jasmin.
Uh-oh. What's happening?
Can you see me?
I can, but you can't see me?
I cannot see you.
What?
It says paused.
I don't know why. I'm like, I have it on. Oh, maybe because of my... Hold on. What's going on?
Well, we're on the show right now. You're live, and it's okay if, yeah. Here's the thing. My buddy Peyton has been playing Spider-Man, the new game. Hello. Okay.
That was it. No interest whatsoever.
She just pushed a fart out too hard. Oh, there she is. And there you are. Hey, it's your favorite person. It's your favorite
Hi.
acting coach. How's it going?
How are you? I have 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. Peyton wanted to say something and congratulate you.
You're fucking incredible in Miles Morales,
Oh, thank you.
by the way. And I feel like an idiot because I sat there in the beginning going like, she looks familiar. I did not know you were in the game. And
Yeah, I
Wesam,
couldn't tell anyone. That's my secret.
it's insane. And like I dropped like a spoiler, but you are a fantastic tinkerer.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I want your character to win right now. I really
Thank
do.
you. That's a huge, huge compliment.
Yes.
I really appreciate that.
And now,
Oh, man. Thanks.
Wesam gave me the insights, and I just want to say, like, I think 90% of your performance is because of him. So, like, credits where credits due, I guess.
I told him I coached you on set and before the audition.
Yeah, I owe it all. I owe it all to my my acting coach. You know,
That's right.
the acting coach. Did he make me use the casting couch? I can't say that, but
I don't know. Hey, are you trying to cancel me? What the hell? Hey, we might have to keep that in. We're keeping it in.
you definitely didn't. I just love making Wesam uncomfortable.
Oh my God, Jasmine. Okay, you know what? Go back to your. She's shooting an awesome movie. We can't say what it is or what role. Oh, she's in Scream. She's in a new Scream movie. Hey,
Hell yes.
we love you. Congratulations on your performance. And seriously, you're always killing it. And love you a lot. Okay.
You're a great coach, and you never made me use the casting couch.
Mother, bye. Unbelievable. Trying to cancel my career.
I
Can you
know.
believe that?
And I was so excited about this, I kept forgetting to switch the camera to myself. So you know what? It's on you for 90% of the
That's
time
all-
because now
that's-
I'm just excited
Yeah,
to go
that's-
back home and play it again. And I hope with her character things turn out well.
You'll never know. But keep an eye out for other characters.
I don't believe you.
Okay, man. Do your thing. You know what? Do your fucking thing, Peyton.
I am. I'm beating the game tonight. So,
How much have you played it?
Dude.
Okay.
Dude.
Okay, guys.
How's Valhalla going? Just real quick. I know we've rambled on and on.
Oh,
This
Valhalla,
intro.
I'll be honest with you. I've only been using some of the user interface of it, and I've only played maybe the first 20 minutes of Valhalla, which is not that long because I've just been busy with other things.
Yes.
But I do love the responsiveness of the controller and the system itself. It was the first console system that I was like, whoa, I feel like this is a part of me.
Yeah. Have you gone into Astra's Playroom?
No.
At all yet? Okay, I know it looks like a kiddie game or something. That truly is one of the best experiences I've had on a console because it's all about how the console works and what the like haptic feedback can do. It's fucking insane how the controller feels. Have you played Fortnite with the controller
Not yet.
Shooting the guns, like the trigger, it's got like a restraint. Like you got to push down on it and it's got a vibration like in the... It feels like I'm shooting a shotgun with my finger.
I'm playing tonight.
Insane.
Okay. We're going to check it out.
Yeah, let's do it. You and me, and we'll get Jack in on it.
Yeah.
Let's do some Fortnite.
Fortnite tonight. I'm down.
Yes.
down. I'm trying to think what else. I love the way it looks. I really do, actually.
Are you talking about like design, like the console itself?
Yeah, it's just different. I like how they switched it up. It's white now.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sold on the white color yet. I hope they come with stuff that you could probably like change it to black.
People are already selling custom plates because the plates are so easy to remove.
Ah, okay.
Like black plates, so you can just like get your own set of black plates and just rip them off and put on
I
new
think
ones.
I think I might do that just because it's it's very white and everything I have in my TV stand thing is
I'm
black.
the same way. I have
So,
all black. So.
Just an aesthetic thing, but honestly, congratulations to everybody at PlayStation and everybody who
Yes.
put that thing together. Seriously, great work, and yeah.
I have one more question for you. I know this has been a long intro, but
No, it's okay.
You talked about how PlayStation 4, you weren't too huge on the user interface.
Yeah.
How do you like the PlayStation 5's user interface?
It's changed, and I like it. It's
Okay.
just it's not a crazy change.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful. Now I can clearly see things.
Yeah.
And it's not a jumbled up mess.
Right. I will say, and this is, I am 90% sure this is only because it's a new console. I'm very lost right now trying to find things.
Oh, yeah.
And that I guarantee that's just because it's a new console. They're going to add it because they're going to add it. I want folders back. I can't make a folder.
Oh,
I would
I
put
never
like
used it.
I would put like shooters. All my shooter games are in a folder. Like I would
okay.
do that, and it kind of kept things a little organized
Right.
instead of having one long line of games.
Right.
'Cause I looked in my library when transferring the games over. I have 400 fucking games
Oh my
on the
gosh.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, no.
I need to
Yeah.
put them all together.
Yeah. Well, dude, I can't wait for us to play tonight. We're going to update people on that. Thanksgiving Day, we're going to be spending it together with some friends, which I'm excited about.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to have, like, guy time during that time. Because I don't know if you know this about me. I don't like to help on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That's something I've... Okay.
I'm not sure what you mean yet. You don't like to help.
Oh, making the food?
Oh.
I'll
okay.
help put my plate up and clean up a little bit afterwards.
You don't like making the food.
Oh, do not ask me to set anything. Do not ask me to bring anything. I don't want to do that. I don't like it.
Okay.
This is what I want to do on that day. I want to chill, relax, play video games, watch movies. I don't want to do anything
I feel ya.
related to prepping dinner. You know why? Because if somebody's like, well, you're going to eat. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to make it. I don't need to eat Thanksgiving dinner then. If you're going to make me work, I'm not going to eat.
I'll bring some food.
Hey, you know what?
I'll bring some food because I do want to eat. So
I'll heat up some Trader Joe's.
No, that works. Yeah. Dude,
Because don't make me...
get a pre-made pumpkin pie for all I care. Just like...
Oh, here you go. Dude, that's what I do. Here you go.
That's what I do.
Pumpkin pie.
I bring a
bought it.
bottle
There
of
you go.
wine and pumpkin pie. Like,
Now, some people like to cook, right?
yeah, some people like to cook.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Do not get frustrated that you've had to do so much work and then go, hey, I really wish you would have helped. No. This is how it goes. I tell you that I don't like to do this at all.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I feel you.
especially if I'm hosting.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
co-hosting?
that's true. You are hosting, so.
So guess
that's,
what,
That's
man?
what you've done already. You're clear.
I'm not, dude. I vacuumed and dusted, and it's Thanksgiving Day.
That's
You know
right.
what? This is what I want to do.
I can't see them. A little higher. Come on.
Put my
there
legs
they
up,
are.
Okay. Some foot fetish guy now just came. Okay. Our guest today.
Immediately.
I love these intros with you.
I know. They're so fun.
I know. We gotta do just episodes of me and you again soon.
I know.
Maybe on the
Dang guests coming back on the
I know,
show.
fucking guests. Fuck you guys. How do you get on here anyway? Me. So our guest today is Jon Ryan. He's a director and he's the host of the Face to FaceTime podcast. You can find that on all social media outlets and on YouTube. Amazing guy. I was just on his podcast, and when this airs, you'll definitely be able to hear it. Again, it's Face to FaceTime podcast. Had an amazing talk with him. I had him on mine, and we run the gambit, my friend, of serious topics to fun topics, and we had a nice in-depth conversation. And getting to know this guy was really cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's. Before we welcome Jon Ryan. I know we're not supposed to do this, but our HelloFresh code is still up.
Hey, it's getting them the customers. Who cares when we say it?
Exactly. You know what? I'm
who
being kind.
cares?
Hey, HelloFresh, if you want $90 of free food, I'm not joking. We're giving away $90 of free food.
That's right.
Type in the code WESAM90. That's WESAM 90. WESAM90, and you'll get $90 off your first order. That's an insane amount of food
That's right.
for free. Okay?
And it tastes good.
Yeah. Tweet us, too, if you do it, or Instagram us. We'll respond back. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, just enjoy the show. We love you. Those tattoos are very hot.
Thanks, man. I paid for them all myself.
That's wow. That's impressive. No, they really are
Uh-huh.
cool. Is it just the one arm, or you have both arms?
So I wanted to only do one arm because I thought it'd be cool to get a one sleeve here, and then nothing on the other side, so I still know what my arms look like if I had two,
Yeah.
right? But so they're all only here, and you can't tell, which is great. But I'm really ashy right now. People don't tell you that when you get tattoos. You now can see how ashy you've been your whole life.
Oh. Really?
So I'm like an ashy motherfucker because so they're only on this arm on my forearm.
That's so interesting. I can tell when I'm ashy is my face gets so dry. So dry. I look like somebody threw like powder in my face.
That's gross.
It is. I have to moisturize constantly. I used to get my knuckles used to crack and bleed in the wintertime in Oklahoma.
Ugh.
you
Yeah,
get-
I've kind of got my knuckles doing that a little bit sometimes, but mostly my dryness is in right where my tattoos are. So it's just
And
life
also
does that.
you also have your fingernails painted, I see.
Oh yeah, I was fucking around. My girlfriend I just had her do it because she had it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, nothing matters anymore. When you get a girlfriend, what do I care anymore about what people think? It matters what she thinks only.
Yeah.
At this point.
That's true. I don't care. I was just curious as to why you had them painted. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have a past with being into punk music and just being a little piece of shit punk rocker, and I grew up in a town called Corona, and the one thing to do when you're a kid is this place called Showcase, and it's shut down now, but so I don't know. My girlfriend's super into punk music, so we've just been I guess she's sort of bringing some of that out in me.
Yeah. What's some of the first bands you got into?
So, all right. So the truth is, you're with your parents your life, so they're influencing what you like. And my dad is a Japanese guy, and he's really into country and disco. So yeah, he's super into Randy Travis and George Strait, and so I grew up listening to all that, and I was like, this shit slaps. And then once I became like a person and, I started paying attention more to what my siblings were listening to. And it was the first CD I bought was Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy, whatever the fuck that album's called. That one, the dual CD.
Yeah.
And then once I became like really my own person and decided to like figure out what I like for me and not my siblings and not my parents, it was Blink-182. Was like the first, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Was it the kind of feeling where you're like, "Oh, this is what I like. This speaks to me."
Yeah, it was the fact that they were so funny on stage. It was the fact that they were sort of fearless. Also, they had such an adolescence to them that made me feel free to express my inner adolescence that I hadn't yet, came upon yet.
Yeah.
So it just made me go, yeah, I'll fucking dye my hair. Yeah, I'll paint my nails. Yeah, I'll wear dirty clothes. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, none of this fucking matters, Just have fun. So.
So, the first CD I ever bought was the soundtrack to Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And I jammed to that. It was my thing, and I loved it. And then I listened to Usher's My Way album, and I was
Wait a second. Annihilate. Isn't there like there's one song for Mortal Kombat? Isn't there?
Not for the movie.
Like
it's a whole soundtrack.
There's more than just whatever that song is.
Oh yeah, man.
I had no idea. It's that's like getting the soundtrack. That's like getting the soundtrack to Titanic. Like you're only gonna listen to My Heart Will Go On. Like
No.
what else?
Rammstein was on it.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that at all.
He was they did the Du hast mich song on
That
there,
was
I
in that was in Annihilation.
No. Engel's Eye. Engel's
Oh.
Eye. You know that song? No.
No.
All right.
My Rammstein discography knowledge isn't too wide.
Well, I remember the first feeling I felt when listening to music where it like talked to my soul was listening to Nirvana's Teen Spirit. That kind of hard
Yeah,
rock.
man.
I was like, "Oh no, this is my voice." And then when I started getting into Avenged Sevenfold and then AFI, Rancid, it was
There's
It was
some
really
some
cool.
overlap because I started getting into those bands too because the initial boom has a spread around it. So mine was Blink, and then it was like, all right, Thursday, Taking Back Sunday, My Chemical Romance, Thrice.
Yes.
What band did you just say? You just said a band that AFI.
AFI.
And the other Rancid.
yeah.
Like, so there's definitely an overlap that we would have in that genre for sure.
Oh yeah. And I like that kind of edginess too because my household was very conservative and I lived under very disciplined parents. They loved me, but it was a very disciplined household. So seeing those people live these like edgy lives, being these rebels, I was like, I romanticized it a lot.
Yeah. Wait, conservative parents. So maybe you've talked about this on your podcast already, but I have conservative parents. Are we talking Republican or what are we talking?
Oh, just when I say conservative, I mean we were raised in
Strict.
Syria, so I say strict. No drinking, no smoking. You'd be home by this time. I didn't have sleepovers. I wasn't allowed to sleep over at people's houses growing up. I had to help my parents out in the store whenever I could, and had to have straight A's, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. My parents tried to do that to me, and it didn't work. I didn't do any of that. But they always wanted me to be. It's weird that. How do you feel about that though? That you grew up like that? Is there resentment? Have you come to peace with it? Do you like it?
No, at the time I hated it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated it at the time. But the lessons I learned and the work ethic I learned and learning how to work with my father in the restaurant, which was super difficult, as much as I love him, and I've said this to him a million times, but all those things combined have set me up for success in the future. But what about you? Like, what about you? I'm this is about you, John. What, like you said, your father's Japanese, strict. Is your mother Japanese as well?
Well, he's not strict. I say conservative in a political sense.
Oh, okay.
Republican.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what was the question though?
Well, your mom
Oh.
Japanese too?
No, my mom's Mexican. I'm half Mexican.
Okay, cool. That's
Mexican.
interesting.
They met on the phone. It's a cool story.
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
Yeah,
Here we
I'd
go.
love
So my dad ran a company that made deliveries, just like truck. He ran basically a truck driving business. He was never a truck driver. He was just someone who knew how to facilitate. He found that it was like easy to make money and he did. He became very successful off of that. So at the time, he was really young. He was, I would say, 25, 26, and he would, do orders to another company that my mom was working at. So he worked in LA. She lived in Palm Springs and worked in Palm Springs, in that area. Indio is where it was. And so he would talk to her and flirt with her because he was like, she sounds hot. And then he would ask the truck driver that would do the delivery. He would be like, hey, tell me if she's hot because she sounds hot. I want to hang out with her. And then truck driver comes back and the truck driver's like, yeah, she's fucking fly as fuck. So my dad was like, we should meet up. They meet up. And then now I'm going to switch over to my mom's perspective. She had 3 kids already with some guy that she was leaving. So she was just like, I don't want to date. Like, I'm going to bring 3 kids to some guy. Like, I got to just raise my kids. Like, I'm not worried about dating. But my dad convinced her because he's charming. And they met up and she couldn't find him because she didn't, they don't know what each other look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, you forget that, you can't check a fucking Instagram and a LinkedIn profile before you meet up with the date. So they meet up and then she's like, you're Asian. And he's like, yeah, is that a problem? She's like, no, I just did. He sounds like me,
Right.
So, it was, and then they met and they just, started hanging out and they would make a 2-3 hour drive every time they wanted to see each other.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's cute. I don't know. I think that's romantic. No? Hello?
It's cute. Yeah, you froze for a second. But it's cute, but it's also like I just live in a different borough than my girlfriend, and I'm like, all right, like we hang out like maybe 20% less because we live in a different borough. You know what I mean? It's only like 4 to 5, 6 stops away, but it's still like, I don't know. I think what it was back then, you just kind of, there was more of a, get them while you can type of deal. You didn't know what was around you. I mean, my dad was in fucking LA.
Yeah.
And he was like fucking around with some woman who had 3 kids from a previous marriage and lived 3 hours away. Like that, I guess that's love, or that's not knowing that there's other people like 10 feet from you. You're like, is it knowledge spreading or is it like laziness or what? You know what I mean?
It could be a sense of excitement too, meeting with this person that you clicked immediately on with.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paused. Everything good?
I know. No, something popped up. I'm sorry. I'm trying
No
to
worries.
go back. There we go.
Cool. Yeah, but that excitement of talking to somebody new, we all know that feeling, when you start texting and you start vibing and, that's humans are really interesting in that sense because we tend to romanticize a lot of things like, the music I listen to, all these cool people, these punk rockers, I thought were living these like awesome lives and rebellious lives. I'm like, they're having fun all the time and I'm here stuck miserable. So no, we romanticize things constantly. And that's debatable too. If we're really feeling those emotions and things are going good, maybe they are that good. Maybe it's not just in our head.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess there's no way to know. It's like trying to speculate who would win, like Ali or Tyson, Like you'll never know. Times are different. Bruce Lee in the UFC, that would be, something to see, but I don't know, like it's also nice not knowing. You know what I mean? It's fucking nice. Are you I'm going to ask you a question. Are you and feel free to answer whatever you want. But do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend?
Oh,
or...
that's a great question. I never bring up who I'm dating or not dating on the show or in my public life at all. That stays always private.
I kind of noticed that. I was going through clips of yours and I couldn't place it. Like, is this a guy in a relationship or not, or what? But that's kind of sick. I like that, and I like that you're not gonna say if you're gay or straight too, because it doesn't matter.
That's 100% sure. I'm sure people can kind of tell whether I'm gay or straight, but maybe they can't. But at the end of the day,
I can't
tell. It's nobody's fucking business.
Yeah.
And the person I'm in a relationship with, I want to protect them as well. Because I see a lot of times people post, like people who are actors especially, they post their significant others, and maybe they're not in the industry, and they break up, and then all these people start getting hate.
Yep. Yeah.
And I can't tell you something I care less about than when I see stuff like, oh, these people broke up after 10 years of marriage. Like, oh, dude, I don't care. I don't care. That's nobody's business.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I saw something today. It was like Johnny Depp made this much money on a movie, and I was like, oh, why did someone make that? Like, I'm so sick of reading. Like, we really fucked up with that printing press, dude. Like, we really shouldn't have done that. We should have just let everyone be happy in their 10-person village and fuck each other, pick some berries and eat some animals and call it a goddamn day. I'm so sick of reading shit that's happening somewhere else that now I got to think of that fucking thing. Johnny Depp made how much? What do I care?
Well, now this is a great question. This is a great topic we're going into. I just realized that we never answered the question. I wanted to ask, like, what was it like growing up with a Mexican mother and a Japanese father? But we'll go back to this here in a second.
So, my mom is they're somewhat whitewashed. My mom is the least whitewashed one.
Yeah.
My dad's basically a white guy. He sort of had something against when he was a kid. He had an experience where he was at a grade school. His mother wanted him to go to a Japanese school to learn Japanese, and all the kids made fun of him because he didn't know Japanese. He was the only kid so they were like, fucking American, and he was like, dude, I'm trying to learn right. That's why I'm at the school. What the fuck? So they bullied him, and so he was like, fuck this. Like, so honestly, since then, he's never even really had an interest in the culture that much.
Yeah.
He's just an American dude.
Cool.
That looks like a Asian guy. And my mom is Mexican. She holds up a lot of Mexican beliefs. She goes to church. That's like really Mexican, right? And then but she's actually grown with the times more than I would have expected her to. But her origin definitely is like super Mexican, like our straight up the family's from Jalisco in Mexico. It's Actually, check this out. Have you ever gone to a Mexican market and there's a candy? It's like a powder, and it is like a circle like this. It's like, and it has a rose on it on the wrapper. No. Well, for anyone listening or viewing, that's my aunt. My aunt is the heiress to that. It's called pan de la rosa. Hold on, mazapan. People call it mazapan.
Oh,
just sweet bread. It's a powdery whatever. You don't know what it is, so it's fine. But people will know what it is, and I am related to the person who owns that shit in Mexico. So
that's
so
cool,
it's all
man.
good, dude.
That's really cool. So while growing up, were there certain things about your culture, like the Mexican side of your mom's side, where you were like, oh my gosh, I hate this, or oh, I can't wait for this?
Well, I didn't have like a quinceañera. Do dudes have quinceañeras?
I don't
or
know
is
if
it just
dudes,
the girls.
Peyton, do dudes have quinceañeras, or is it just the girls? I think it's just the girls.
It's just the girls. All right.
I have no
Yeah. You know what's funny? Just so you know, he can't hear anything we're saying because these are the only
Okay.
headphones. So I sound like a crazy person right now to him.
Yeah,
It's absolutely wonderful.
I Mexican wise, I mean, we had piñatas at every birthday, and I understand all the Mexican memes. You know that page, Foo's Gone Wild? You know
I
that?
follow that. I love it.
Dude, it's so good. My childhood was super Mexican, and then everything after that was just sort of all of us growing out of traditional Mexican norms and just becoming American and not worrying about heritage necessarily. But
Yeah.
I mean, my mom would make Mexican food and all that. I guess everything she makes is Mexican food, right? Because she's
Right.
Mexican. But I was gonna. I mean, I got spanked a bunch. I didn't
Yeah.
like that. I didn't like that at all. I actually truthfully, probably still hold some resentment that I need to just talk to her about. But I don't know. I mean, overall, pretty good childhood. I don't really have much to complain about.
Yeah. That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what made the transition from you living in, and were you always East Coast based, or where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Corona, California, so that's not too far from LA. It's
Yeah.
like an hour from LA.
Yeah.
And I would go to LA because my dad worked there. I would just go to work with him sometimes and just hang out at the office, and we'd go to lunch and whatever. But I mean, it was Gardena, so it wasn't like LA, So I just knew the idea of LA was a little bit more city, a little bit more hood ratty, sketchy, and I just started going more and more once I turned 18, and I
Yeah.
could get into nightclubs because I didn't know, you live in a little small town, and you're like, well, what the fuck else do I do? Go to the biggest city near you, So I just kept going and going, and eventually started working in nightclubs, and then I got tired of it. Then I went to film school, which was always on my mind. And then after that, I just started, directing shit, pretty much right after film school.
Yeah.
But then, recently, about a year and change ago, I got a job offer for a company that I won't mention on the air.
Right.
But I got a job offer that I just couldn't really turn down. It was just it was too sweet. The idea of living in New York, the idea of a decent, salary. I got a kick-ass title there. I'm the senior director editor. And then I figured I'd be there for a couple years and just maybe go jet to another company, go back to freelance.
Yeah.
At this point, if I were to leave, I'd probably go work at another company. I don't think freelance is exactly booming right now,
Yeah. That's very true.
But I was
Man.
doing a lot of music videos and stuff in LA, so
Yeah.
I miss doing those a lot.
I'm gonna preface this in the intro when I record it later, but I had a great time getting to know you on your podcast that I did just a few
yeah.
days ago, dude. I love, like I said before on your show, I love meeting people I've never talked to before and just talking with them, getting to know them, and I love how much we vibed. At least I thought we vibed. I don't know. Maybe you were like, I'm tired of this guy, but
No, I was like, fuck this guy, and I just threw my. No,
Fair,
of course, man.
fair.
No, I really I talked about you last night with one of my friends and how you're a little different than I thought you would be, in the sense that we could have a really intelligent conversation and thrive off of getting deeper,
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Well, I'm glad you felt that way because I felt the same, and I was thinking about it late at night just because I was just thinking about acting work and everything like that, and I was thinking about the show we had just done, and then I'm like, oh shit, I wonder if there's something in the future that will happen where we work together, because I feel like this is part of the artist journey, is to come cross paths with people you will eventually work with, and it might not be next year, 2 years, it might be like 5 years down the line, 10 years down
Yeah.
the line, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I wonder what kind of project that will be and how different we will be as time goes on as well.
Well, I mean, short answer is of course, that's, just after seeing some of the clips that you have up there on YouTube and trailers that you're in, and then talking to you, I like when someone is engageable and watchable, and just and then after that, at least to me, as a director, I really enjoy someone being watchable. I just want to watch them go fill up their water bottle. If I can do that and be entertained, that's priority number one to me. They got to move well, you know? The second one is likability. Like, as you're speaking, how are you speaking? Where do you put your inflections, you know? And then the third one is your acting spectrum. And it just seemed like you kind of had all those things. So I'm I'm more than willing to work on something together. But my receptors are open right now, especially because I'm writing something, and it really helps me to visualize the character as if it's already cast, even if it's someone that I can't get. So I don't need to talk about like what I'm writing, but I'm writing something that.
My whole point of bringing that up is, I love the fact that it's fun for me to get excited, about the potential of possibilities, because I feel like people can lose that as time goes on, living out in a big city or LA. You know, you're always because so many things fall through. But last night I was just like, this is good. There's a lot of opportunities right now still. Excuse me. Anyway, people should check that out. This episode airs on Thursday. I don't know when yours is going to come out. Probably later.
Wednesday. No, Wednesday.
Okay, so people can check it out on YouTube, face-to-face time, and you're also on the podcast apps, I'm assuming?
All podcast apps and
Great.
YouTube. Those are the two main ones if you want to check out the whole thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't wait to watch it, and I think people should definitely watch that if they want to see our conversation from your show as well. I wanted to ask you, you brought up the fact that you wish that we would go back to like eating berries and staying in our small clans. And I watched some people try to engage other people from certain political beliefs, and it's basically reporters asking Trump supporters legitimate questions. They're not trying to be antagonizing or anything, and this kind of brick wall that they put up of nothing you could say to them could even begin to show them like, oh, you're possibly wrong. They would say, nope, that's fake. Nope, you're lying. No, you're the problem. And it's like, no, we actually have the evidence. It's right here. Nope, that's fake. That's you're lying. So in your mind, I'm always curious to know, do you think there's a way to talk to those type of people? And I'm not saying Trump supporters. I just mean people in general who put up that brick wall.
Here's what I would do. If I had a target and I wanted to get along with this person, let's call him Paul, I'd probably see if he wanted to go get a drink and then let it come up naturally, but not going, hey, let's talk about abortion and Republican stance on it. Just talking about bringing up an example when you maybe thought you got somebody pregnant and you weren't sure if you wanted to keep it. Trojan horsing in a political stance is much better for me to talk about it with somebody because you make it human.
Right.
Instead of you don't start it from a title. You already lost if you go, hey, so Republican, Democrat, where do you stand? Like, you already lost that person. But if you take it from a human perspective and go, hey, this happened to me the other day, whatever, if they want to bring it up, then you could take it from there. But if you make everything human, people can't really argue with human, So I don't know. I would loosen them up. Also, if you like somebody, it sucks to hear that you disagree in fundamental levels, but if you like somebody, if you love somebody, you're willing to, push through that. I mean, also people don't realize too, just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean you have to, tell them to their face and like argue with them and convince them. A democracy is supposed to be disagreement. One of my favorite bands, The Strokes, has a great line that says, "We're not enemies, we just disagree." And I've had to think about that line so much because my parents, well, I don't know what my mom did voting wise, but my dad's into Trump, and I just, it's like I'm not going home for Thanksgiving. I'm contemplating Christmas. Just family has sort of broken apart during this election year. And I'm not going home for Thanksgiving because I feel like something bad could happen, conversationally, and I'm staying away so that I can work on my perspective, and then I'm staying further away so that I can eventually be closer to them, because I think right now it would just break us apart, like pretty bad. But
Shit, man. I'm sorry.
it's okay, man. I mean, this needed to happen. Like in my family, we all were pretending like we all agreed on everything for years, for our whole lives, and now all of a sudden things are detrimental and paramount, and now we're faced to take a stance. And it's great that even they're taking a stance, even though I don't agree with it. I'm glad that we are getting to know each other more. Now, I didn't know that my brother was into Trump, and now I know this shit, and I'm like, all right, well, I thought I knew you, and I guess I didn't know these things about you. So, yeah, it's a big learning thing. My therapist is wonderful in helping me with all this stuff. So I'm trying to figure a lot of shit out right now with that. But
Yeah.
I'm
man.
on the train.
Well, I'm trying to condense all my thoughts into one stream of consciousness right now because, first of all, I really hope that you and your family come closer to this after this whole thing kind of with time. And I hope you guys find a way to communicate with each other even though you disagree. And I think that's one of the hardest things for humans to do because we're so emotionally reactional. We react
Reactionary.
we react so emotionally to things, especially when it's a visceral, if it hits one of our core beliefs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And man, I hope it gets resolved because I think there's a couple things with my mom and dad, like we kind of disagree on, but I've kind of had to talk to one of my brothers about that, and he's upset. He's like, why don't they want to talk to me about it? Why don't they want to talk about it? I'm like, hey, man, they do want to talk about it, and they have talked to you about it. They've expressed their views on it, on why. You're just not happy with their views, and you're trying to actually change them. And I could see it in his eyes, like, oh, that's so true. I was trying to change them because I wasn't happy with their response. I wanted a different response from my mom and dad, but I didn't get that.
Yeah.
And so it's tough, man. Talking with families and moms, dads, brothers, sisters about stuff like that it's tough, but it's necessary.
There's also there's a really good movie. Have you seen Another Happy Day with
No.
Ezra Miller and a couple other people that are great. It's there's a great line in it where because it's about a wedding bringing two halves of the family together that never hang out.
Yeah.
And then they meet for that weekend and shit just starts getting fucking. It's really funny. It's really dramatic. It's good. It's really good. Ezra Miller I'll say he broke through with that role. So there's a line in it where he says, it sucks with family because they're just seeing you in stages. Like they don't see the growth taking you from point A to point B. They're just seeing you at like this year, 2 years later, this year. They're like, you know what I mean? They're not seeing they're seeing the transition periods, and they're not understanding that you're just a person. This is why I love talking to strangers like we're talking. I have no idea about where you live. I have no context of you other than online that we've spoken, which, online context is so manufactured that I can't even really use it to figure out who you are. So I just like meeting strangers where it's like person to person. You are equal because there's no context. So But with family, they're like, hey, remember when you used to shit your pants every time there was a loud noise or something like that? And I didn't shit my pants every time there was a loud noise. I'm just making shit up. But, they bring up shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, that was like, 15 years ago. So we can talk about new shit. But it's like they don't know new shit. They can ask, but it becomes a question and answer thing, which is fucking boring. This is why I want to make enough money so where I can just go, I have 3 siblings and 2 parents. So I just want to be like, hey, sister, you and I, we're going to go to Bali and we're going to get to know each other. And you know what I mean? So it's not a sit down question and answer. Like, who are you dating right now? It's not an interview. It's a, let's go experience this thing together. It's the same way how I used to hit on girls at bars. I would never ask them about themselves, and I would never talk about myself. I would talk about that thing. Whatever that thing is. Now we can both talk about that thing objectively, and we're talking. Again, I'm Trojan horsing in a connection. So I think it's really valuable to do that with getting to know anybody. It's very hard for someone to go, wait, what do I think? No one's really asked me that. Like, that gets off. That's why people have therapy, because daily a lot of people don't get asked, how are you? What's on your mind? Like, people sometimes shy away from that question. So if you just ask about that thing, it's maybe easier.
I realize that a lot whenever I'm ordering something, especially from this In-N-Out place that's by my house.
Okay.
I go there and they're so fast paced, over there, and they're super nice and everything. But I always make an effort to go, hey, how are you doing today? And dude, like maybe 75% of the time they're like, oh, I'm great. Yeah, just busy. We're busy here today. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Uh-huh. You could see it in their eyes that, oh shit, somebody talked to me today and not at me. And it was like really, it was like a little recharge for them. And you're so right on that, man.
Yeah. Can I just say another thing like that I do that I think more people should do? I haven't talked about this. I haven't told anyone I do this. When you look at somebody, you can notice an article of clothing they're wearing and go, that was a choice they made today. You can tell. You're wearing a red beanie. You knew that would stand out. You knew you were going to be on camera today. What I do is I try to just scan somebody sometimes, or if I just naturally notice it, and I go, oh, I love your beanie, or I love your shoes. And then I keep walking. I'm not expecting a conversation. I'm not even expecting a thanks. I just want to throw them a compliment grenade and fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I want them to just go, oh shit, dude. Some people have told me like, oh, I love your pants, and my whole day I'm just like, my fucking pants rule, man. It's so rad to just get a little compliment. And so I try to do that all the time. Just some girl, I told her today, I was like, I could tell her shoes were a fucking choice, and she might have been feeling a little bit weird about them. Maybe they're new. I just was walking my dog. I was like, I love your shoes. I didn't even make eye contact with her. Just kept walking.
I feel I like that a lot. There's a part of me that's like, did he say that? If she didn't see you say it, so she's like, is this?
Yeah.
Did he say that or?
Well, I make it seem like I'm preoccupied with something else. Like my dog was there, and my dog was sort of pulling me. So I was like, "Oh, I love your shoes, but I gotta go." Like
Yeah.
No.
I love that, man. I love the idea of being a kind of like a recharge beacon in your fellow community to people you don't know. That's so critical, I feel, because you're planting trees you'll never see the shade of. And I love that saying.
Woo!
And
that's a good saying.
It is, man, and it's so crucial for the importance of everything that needs to continue on. Because if we stop doing that, we have a very bleak future ahead of us. And that's why I kind of going back to these people who are very stuck in their ways, whether they be far right or far left too. Because I'll be completely frank, there's stuff on the far left that I'm like, oh, that I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course. Yeah, same.
So I hope in the coming years with people and this mountain of information that we're privy to, again, perspective, like we talked about on your show, people's perspective starts widening a little bit more. You start being a little bit more empathetic.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, man.
You know what I just thought of?
Hmm.
There needs to be another political party, but like one that's in the running. And it needs to be not red, not blue. It needs to be purple. It needs to be in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, why does it? You know what I mean? It's obviously a spectrum, two different things that don't agree. There needs to be a purple. Put red and blue together, purple. Like, where is that? I know it's independent, right?
I don't know. I know there's another
purple party.
I love it. I love that idea. But there is another underground party that's growing. And I think within the next 2 years, Peyton knows about it. They've talked about it on the show multiple times. It's kind of like a whisper in the wind, if you will. It's the Wesam for Emperor party. And it's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. Oh, yeah. Change is coming quick.
What's one of your policies?
Well, first of all, we need czars in charge of critical aspects of our country that actually know what they're doing and have studied it and are leading in that area. For instance, a czar of transportation and infrastructure, Elon Musk. You know, you'd want somebody like that on the forefront.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say we need Zaras on every corner.
Yes,
Zaras. I need to get more Heathered Henleys. I need to get more scarves and pointy shoes. But for real, I do like Zara shit.
Their suits are great.
Their suits are great.
Yeah.
Okay.
No?
I shouldn't. I'm contemplating if I should say this one thing. I can't say it. It's about my girlfriend. I can't do it.
Okay.
But it involves a sexual fantasy with a suit, and so I've been looking for suits.
Yeah.
So that I can do this thing. I can't stop.
Oh my gosh,
so
she's there.
Pissed at me.
She's there right now.
No, she's not here.
Oh,
she's not here.
Okay.
But she
All
will
right.
listen to this. She's a fan of mine.
All right. Well, I will say this to you, and since she's listening, I think that's very kind of you for wanting to explore something that would make your partner very happy, and kudos to you for having that initiative.
I've never met anyone this. First off, we like each other the same. Normally, there's some sort of power, or some sort of inconsistency with who likes who more, or whatever. But it's so equal. And then I've never met someone who we can talk about fucking everything so transparently, and
Yeah.
and
You're
it's
welcome.
just Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Obviously
I
you're
really
talking about
appreciate.
me, and it's yeah. I'm glad we can have
I'm
that
talking-
relationship.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just really working out for us. I can't wait till we hang out once. That's what you do, right? First, like that's how couples start. You do their podcasts, you talk, then you do each other's podcasts, and then you meet up.
Oh my gosh. No,
yeah,
that's cool, man. I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for you. That's great.
I was single for like 8 years before this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a long time, man. Well, you're not saying your current status, but will you say what's the longest you've been single?
Oh, I don't know. Like
8 days.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I don't know. It's kind of fuzzy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you why it's fuzzy. I'm very in the moment and forward thinking. So if something happened in the past that wasn't a major event and it wasn't recent, I kind of it doesn't take up real estate or bandwidth in my mind.
Here's the theory that I have for you. I think it's because you live in California. I think if you lived on the East Coast or somewhere with weather, you would be able to track your memory easier. That's what's happening to me, is why I'm saying that. Because now I can go, oh, that was last winter. Or I can go, oh, that was in summer, because you have in your brain, you can break up time like that. It was kind of cold, I was wearing this jacket, or there was a reason why we wanted to be inside. In California, it's or at least Southern California, it's just nice always, and I guess it started to fuck with my head. It started to So when you go see weather, you feel the elements, you feel the moisture in the air, you feel the rain, the cold. You know, it makes you have to be part of the earth after that. I mean, I sound like such a fucking hippie, but you know.
No, hey, here's a question for you then, and this popped up in my head. What would be soul crushing to you if you didn't accomplish in this lifetime?
Direct a movie, for sure.
Like a feature?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I feel like I'm around the corner from, you know. And not that it's like the easiest thing, but I do have a pretty decent track record, and I guess I think I could, you know, I think I could do it on a level of like getting it. I can make one. I have the skill to do it. The hard part is getting someone to believe that you can do it. But I think that I have like the charm and persuasion and sales tactics to get someone to believe in me. I don't know what I'm getting at with this, but that and probably having a kid. Those are, I think, the two things that I really, really want to do in life. That's a good question.
What would happen if you didn't? This is a two-parter. What would happen if you didn't shoot a film? Let's say, you know, you find out you have cancer, or you're in your 80s or 90s, and you realize, you're looking back, you're like, wow, I've procrastinated, or I wasn't able to fulfill this. What would be going through your mind?
Well, what would the scenario be? Because am I 80 or did I get cancer tomorrow?
Let's go with 80.
Well, if I was 80 and it just got past me and I never did it.
Yeah.
You can't really do much at 80, can you? I mean, I was going to say I'd try to like be a columnist for like movies or something, but like I would probably, yeah, I mean, it's soul crushing now just thinking about it. Just being 80 and never have done the thing that I've been trying to do for a decade and a half. Man, I'd probably do something adjacent, you know, photography, something that I can do that no one can take away from me. You know, photography. I'd probably do photography, and then I'd write like good photography, but then like write blurbs like Humans of New York shit. You know, it's very strange to think about never making a movie, because that's just not in my head. You know.
Okay.
Like it's just straight up possible to do one.
Well, then
you know,
what
even if you just. Okay, so if I got cancer and they said, what, I have 6 months to live or something?
3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
Yeah.
I would probably make a movie, to be honest. I know that's like, I just like cheated by saying that right now, but it would be, what it wouldn't be would be a narrative, which is what I would like to do. It would be a documentary. It would be about, I don't know what it would be. I'd probably be about my life, to be honest. A lot of people don't like hearing themselves speak or seeing images of themselves. And not that I'm like a narcissist or obsessed with myself, but I really don't mind it. I think that you're not here for that long, and you might as well record who you are while you can. Like, think about Clint Eastwood. Can go back and watch The Good, Bad, and the Ugly and see himself and go, man, I remember when I used to like love combing my hair like that, or I remember when I used to walk like that. You know, there's nuances that are just going to be them, and it's just a documentation of life. So I would like to make a documentary about myself when I'm on my deathbed. But
very interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I asked you that, and then I realized there's probably some characteristics about you that I just learned about, and one of them could be that there's this hidden tenacity about you and that you might work a little better with that fire underneath your butt. Because when I told you had 3 months to live, you're like, well, I'm just going to make a movie then. And I'm trying to think the difference between that and you
God
waiting
damn
until
it.
you're 80. You know what I mean?
Fuck. You just fucked me. Because now I have no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I will say the difference is when I'm gonna die in 3 months in that scenario, I have a subject matter. Right now, I have to do the script first, which takes a long time, and then but I feel like once I have a script, like I have everything to shoot a short film. I have the money. I have the equipment. I'm just going to do it once I am like cocksure that it's gonna be good. I'll pass it through a lot of hands to I like getting advice from everybody, even if I hate it. I don't care. I want to hear even bad opinions, So but you're right. Like, why don't I just do that thing if that's a good question.
Yeah, I honestly see that because there's no excuse, or not, I don't want to say no excuse because it makes it sound like I'm attacking you. I'm not attacking you. I'm just kind of being...
Attack me.
I'm just being a little intense with it. No, because
That's
I'm
fine.
curious. I'm curious to... I don't like to wait. I just don't like to wait on things. That's just my personal thing. And so...
Is that because you were a waiter when you were younger and you're over waiting?
No, because I know how quickly things can be done. Like much more quicker. Like if you put a little bit of effort into something in a day, like...
Well, that's like Quentin Tarantino's thing with editing his movies. Like, I think he does them in like 2 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, why does everyone take so long? You shot the script. Just put everything in place. And then mess around a little bit, but you don't need to take fucking 6 months to edit a movie. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that,
Yeah. Well, I would be really curious because I think I saw your stuff with Bobby Lee. Is it online somewhere? Did I see a trailer for it? Or
A short film?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's on the podcast channel. So, it's weird, man, because I wanted to start posting my short films on YouTube, but I was like, no one's just going to watch them. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I started doing a podcast, and then I was like, all right, what will happen is everyone will come for the podcast, stay for the short films,
Yeah.
But it's the opposite. Everyone is coming for the short films now and staying for the podcast. So it's cool that happened. It's on my YouTube channel, so I have playlists on my YouTube channel. One is the short films that I make because I wanted, I'm interviewing these people, and it's like, who the fuck is this kid? Who am I?
Yeah.
So that's why I put those there, and so there's 2 right now, but I'm gonna make another one soon out here. It's just been a little tough with COVID because it's hard to get a crew member like that is just down. Like, I don't know many people out here. I don't have that wide of a network out here, so
Yeah.
so I'm trying to figure that shit out, but yeah, they're on my YouTube channel, Face to Face Time.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, by the way, I watched the intro to Red Belt, the movie we talked about.
Oh, yes. What do you think?
Great. It's great. It's great because because of what you said. Like that first scene when he's saying you can get out of anything, you know the moves, you can get out of anything. Use the move. You know the move. Why aren't you doing it? He's like, because I was running at it, I was choking. Yeah, but that's why you do the move. So I can see that being exactly what the whole movie's going to be, I love that intro. Chiwetel, incredible talent. And I can't wait to watch the rest, but I watched it after we spoke, and then I fell asleep because it was a little later.
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, it does foreshadow immediately. If you know anything about movies or filmmaking or screenwriting or writing, yeah, it foreshadows, but you're not prepared of how...
I will say, other than foreshadow, it's a motif.
That's art.
That's art.
Art.
For anyone listening, if you just replace the word foreshadow with motif, your peers impress your friends. Say motif instead of foreshadow,
Okay.
and you will. I'm talking to your listeners right now or viewers.
But yeah, you're not prepared for how shitty. Like you're just not. Like I could say that, and it still won't prepare you for it.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready to watch it, man.
What for me as an actor, I would love to play role. I'd love to play roles that have some form of redemption quality, characters that have like a redeeming storyline. They have to go through some kind of death and rebirth. And then also on the more comedic side, I love playing characters that feel like they're the only sane ones and they're just surrounded by idiots constantly.
What's that movie? Falling Down.
Oh, I haven't
You know
seen
that
that
movie?
one.
Dude, so it's a God damn it, who did the movie? I forget who did it, but it's oh God, I'm blanking on everything right now. Who's the guy that's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones? Ask your producer.
Who's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones? I know who you're talking about, though. Yes, I know the guy. I see his face.
Anyway, so the whole
Michael
movie
Douglas.
is Michael Douglas. So it's basically just Michael Douglas. Goes from just being a normal guy.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking. He's wearing the suit,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Not so much that. I mean, that would be great to play, but more like Ricky Gervais in Extras.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Which is a really good. If people don't know, it's sort of a writing shortcut because then you know how to write every scene. What absurdity can I put this straight man in?
Yeah.
And just make him cast it funny, and I mean, I'm making filmmaking sound so easy. Yeah, you just write it this way, and then you cast it a certain way. What the fuck? Why is everyone tripping?
I just love the fact, like, how, like you said, absurd some of the scenes are. Can you imagine being an extra on a show with Patrick Stewart? You sneak into his trailer, and you're like, hey, I'm so sorry. I know I'm probably going to get fired for this, but I have a script idea, and here's the script. I'd love for you to read it. And Patrick Stewart is like, of course, come in. And it starts off normal. And then he tells you, well, I kind of dabbled in screenwriting too, and I have this idea where, the spy thriller, and you're like, oh my God, yeah, and like you think it's going great, and then Patrick Stewart starts saying, yeah, and all the women, they just constantly keep losing their clothes because the guy can control them, and they just get naked.
And she covers up, but it doesn't matter because I've already seen everything.
Yeah, I mean, can you
That's
imagine?
how he ends every pitch. I've already seen everything. Yeah.
I just love those kind of scenarios because sometimes I feel pre-COVID the absurdity of living in LA. Sometimes I would be like, am I on a hidden camera show? Is this person for real right now?
Well, dude, that's like a lot of how I feel in New York, where I'm like, is this really happening? Like, do people just not care about other people looking at you? I mean, I guess that's, this is the fucking city of expression. Like, people are really just doing whatever they want to do, and it kind of makes me feel free. I'm fucking singing in the streets now. When you sing in the streets in LA, you're a fucking crazy person. But here, you're like probably a signed artist that's just like, I don't know, whatever. I'm singing. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
It's very different. It really does feel like a playground for the creative. And you look around, you just see the most absurd, just shit just weird shit, really. Like, I know that word is a little ambiguous, but weird shit, man. You just see weird shit. I have a Finsta.
Yeah.
A Finsta that is so my main one is Jon Ryan is dead, but my Finsta where I actually post things I see around New York, like just odd shit. It's just interesting photos. It's Jon Ryan is alive. So I'll go through and just find just really like things that you're just like only in New York, man. What the fuck is all this? This is just like when you get a lot of people in a close proximity and then you put, a certain infrastructure around it, people are going to figure shit out. I mean, there's kids on the train doing Showtime for people that don't know what Showtime is when all the people come and they go, "Hey, Showtime, everybody," and they do a little dance inside the subway. And then they go around and collect tips. I mean, that's just completely made up by people who needed money that could dance or sing. And they were like, I remember I lived in Franklin Village for a long time in Hollywood. Are you familiar with Franklin Village? Like UCB is right there, and La Poubelle and Birds.
There's the Bourgeois Pig.
Bourgeois Pig, yeah. So
Yeah.
I lived across the street from Bourgeois Pig for like 7 years. I loved it. I love that little area a lot. But a little slice of New York right there. But yeah. So, I just lost what I was saying. What the fuck? I know what I got. I got it. There's a cellist that would come and play outside of Franklin and Co., which is a great bar. And I remember seeing her and being like, is she homeless? Like, she's like attractive, she's young. And I just kind of started talking to her, and she's like, dude, it's weird. People look at you like you're psycho if you're playing in public out here. And I was like, yeah, well, because I hadn't been to New York at the time. So I was like, yeah, well, I mean, no one really plays outside. And then you come here, and if you're playing in the subway, you're most likely really, really talented. That's where you go to showcase your talent is the subway. As opposed to LA, if you're doing anything in public self-expressive, you're looked at as a psycho. So there's a very big difference. Shakespeare in the Park doesn't happen in LA, as far as I've seen. But here's where you do it.
Wow.
So, right? Am I wrong? Like,
I'm kind of pulled in two directions with that. I feel like I don't know enough, or maybe I don't have that kind of wide enough perspective on it, because there's a part of me that, yeah, people should do that in public and express themselves, or yeah, they're trying to hustle to make tips. And there's a different part of me that's like, cool, how much money are you actually making right now? Is it really even worth your time? Like, you're going to get, what, $4 or $5? Or if you go down to Santa Monica and you pay for that permit, how much money are you really making? Is it really worth your time? And are you even that good? Because I've seen people down there, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing in public? This is not good.
yeah. Well, that's the thing with LA is like you don't have to be good to do it in the street. You have to be a little bit crazy. Here, you have to be good. Like there's
Everybody's good?
Dude, I haven't come across a bad artist in the subway or on the streets.
Wow.
They're all
Okay.
very even just like the dads that I put them on my Instagram a while ago. There's just these guys singing what can make me feel like that, whatever that song is. What the fuck is that? My Girl by the Temptations.
Yeah.
Just harmonizing perfectly. They were just in the streets, just kind of doing it. And I Venmo tipped them like $15 because I was like, dude, you're bringing so much joy to everybody right now. You guys are the shit. And but yeah, like I really have not seen a bad artist on the street out here. I think people are they've honed in on it so much and know that like you have to be good to play. Like the Union stop or there's like a junction in Union Square. That is like the stop. It's like a hub that all the trains go through. So that's the one that a lot of people go to and just, rip it, man. And have you seen those two? There's two black twins that they're boys, and they actually sound exactly like the Beatles. It's unreal. It's called Black Rabbit music or something like that. But if you just look on YouTube and type any of those words I just said,
Wow.
but they play only Beatles songs. They're so fun. They were on Ellen and shit. Like performers in New York, at least that I've seen in public, are. I mean, I'm sure there's shitty ones too, but the ones I've seen are really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
John,
a bummer I can't go do that in public. Like go do my skill, just doing video editing. I'm like, but look how fast I am, and then I just get tips and shit. Like I can't do my talent in public.
Oh, dude, a shout out to my buddy Ryan Valdez, who is a director/editor, and he does a lot of special effects too. He edited this music video I directed for my brother for his song called Again. It's by Quiche Music, and or Quiche as he goes by. And I saw him working as an editor. Oh my gosh, I've never seen hands move that fast before on a computer before in my life. That's
I gotta challenge him. I actually fancy myself a pretty fast hotkey guy.
Oh, dude. If you can ever just videotape yourself, just the keyboard and your hand, I'd love to see it.
I always think that. I always want to have a Wes Anderson angle camera on my keyboard and just like put that somewhere as just like, because I again, like, I don't mind watching myself. I think that the only certainty you have of existence is yourself. I don't know if you're real. I don't know if I don't know if my parents are real. I don't know if my girlfriend's real. This could very well be a simulation, and I'm kind of leaning that way. So, I don't know anything that's real except for myself. So I enjoy watching myself because it's the only certainty that it's real. So anyway, yeah, I'm doing the hotkeys, and I'm like, yo, this is some Guinness shit sometimes. I'm like, this is fascinating even to me. So I'll do that. I'll do that soon.
Yeah.
And send it to you.
Here's my theory about that. And I've also read some articles about how the actual physical universe we are due to physics and this like crazy in-depth physics article that I barely understood. It had pictures, so that helped me. And it does talk about how theoretic or like due to these physics, it is somewhat of a simulation.
Yep.
I still think that it's pretty ballsy to say that when you haven't really experienced even 0.0001% of what life has to offer. Mm-hmm. And to go, oh, it's a simulation. I don't know. I feel like, again, perspective.
Well, perspective for sure. You never will be able to experience what life has to offer for, like, maybe you'll get at most 2%. In life,
if that,
if that, if you're lucky. But there's a documentary called What the Bleep Do We Know? Do you know about it?
No.
Well, there's a show called The Vow. Do you know about The Vow? It's more recent. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. The What the Bleep Do We Know just kind of confirms through a lot of different like scientific experiments that they walk you through about how it might be true, like very, very might be true. Now, I'm also saying that I kind of hope it's true because I would love to die and this not end. I would also love to die and not go to fucking heaven or hell because both sound like they suck. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't think heaven seems rad. If I can't say fuck and like piss on the street if I'm drunk or something, like I don't think I want to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that idea of heaven is very it sounds like something a person made up of what they think the ultimate bliss would be like.
Right. So I mean, heaven could be the simulation where this is another this, but things are a little easier.
Maybe.
They're never out of stock of your favorite breakfast or whatever. Like, everything just... how, like, in life here in this life, things kind of don't work sometimes? Like, I lost my keys the other day, and it took me so fucking long to have to remake all the keys and replace the locks. A lot of money. It probably cost me $1,000
What?
to replace the... It's a long story.
Okay.
Yeah, it sucks. But I had to replace locks. Locksmiths out here, fuck you in the asshole. So yes,
Gotcha.
I had to pay about $1,000. So I feel like the afterlife would be the simulation, but everything's just a little easier. I wouldn't have lost my keys. Something technologically would have been like, hey, your keys are over there, without having to have a tile on it. Or maybe my keys will just come back to me. Some telekinetic thing. I'm just saying, I think that heaven, you're right, it probably isn't sitting on a cloud petting a sheep with God sucking your dick or whatever everyone thinks it is. It might be. Wait, can I say that?
You just
Sorry.
said it. No, it's okay. It's up to you to say it or not.
Heaven might be, this but easier. I mean, to me, that sounds like a great. I would worship God if I was going to a better this. But
So
I
you
really
would-
don't want to. Yeah.
So you're saying you would want to worship a creator aspect because of a reward, because of an opportunity for a better life?
I would like to do whatever I got to do to obtain not immortality, but the next thing. So it doesn't have to be God. It can straight up be the Matrix or the simulation.
Gotcha.
And when I get there, if I have done X, I also don't think that it's like fucking Verizon rollover minutes where you just like keep going. I think it's like reading a book where you read a book and then you're able to put it down and go, all right, that was a good book. And you're able to do whatever you were doing before. So I think that this is simply somebody, whoever I am is God up there controlling me, I was thinking about this earlier today where I said a phrase, I think it was in our episode, where I said my brain just came up with this idea for Face-to-Face Time, my podcast, which is an iPad on, for anyone that doesn't know, it's an iPad on a mannequin to make it feel like I'm hanging out with somebody. And I didn't say I came up with it. I said my brain came up with it, as if they're two different things. And I do feel like they are two different things. Who is controlling my brain then, right? So the way I see it, which is, it's like in an Italo Calvino book that I don't remember, but I do remember this one little part from it, which is, it's like going to a library, picking out a book and reading it for a little bit and going, all right, putting it back. That's you dying when you put it back, and then you get to be yourself again, and then you go and pick another book to read. It's almost, I would love for it to be that, I would love for this all to be an 8-minute DMT trip.
So is there any purpose with that for you? Does that make sense? Because
No, it does.
I understand what you're saying, but then what's the underlying purpose? Is it just to, and if it is this, then that's fine. If it's just to constantly just be enjoying the little things of life, going out with your friends, having a good time, hanging out with your girl, making some movies, having, cool dinner with the family, going out to a trip to Japan. Is that all that you think that would be great for your purpose?
I think this life, for me, I boiled it down to 3 things. And how can I do these things the most in my life? Leave behind a legacy, and laugh and come. And that's it.
Okay.
Those are the 3 things that this human is here to do. So I wanna have a kid. I wanna leave behind a legacy, whatever I make in this life. Mm-hmm. And on the way to all those things, I want to laugh as much as possible.
Gotcha. So this is the part that I have to ask why on, just because I'm curious. The laughing and the coming part I get because it's pleasurable in the moment and it's fun. Mm-hmm. I fucking love laughing. It's just great. You connect with people, and it's just fun. You feel good. But it's so short-lived. You know what I mean? You can't laugh and come 24 hours a day because that would be psychopathic. You just can't.
Right.
And then
I've tried.
My producer goes, I don't know. You probably could. You pervert. No, but eventually you'd need different things to get you to that laughing state, or different things to
of course, yeah.
So those are short-lived ones. But the leaving a legacy behind, I always am curious when people say this. Why is that important to you? Why should people know who Jon Ryan was? Why should you even have a child?
So Socrates has this little excerpt about it where the idea of having a child is legacy. that we have this. It's the idea of wanting to be immortal, wanting to live on. How can we do that? Spread our seed. That's just built into us. That's inherently going to be inside of a human male, to spread our seed, to be immortal, to live forever. Because we can't, so how else can we do it? Now, we've evolved to the idea of, with technology, to be able to create more than just a kid, to create art. There's also, I'm quoting a lot of shit here, from Peter Weir's movie. What's it called? The poetry movie, Dead Poet Society, where Robin Williams says, lawyers, doctors, those professions are essential to life and admirable, but poetry, art, these things are why we stay alive. Those things are the reasons to stay alive. But so I always see it that way, where the reason I'm alive is because I can create. The reason I'm, able to do, dude, think about not being able to have an artistic outlet in life.
No, for sure. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to make sure we don't branch out too far out.
Yeah, sorry.
No. It's all good, man. Because this is not an easy thing to talk about, and but the idea of being immortal. I just want to go back to that. Okay, when you die, though, eventually, people will forget who you are. It just happens to everybody, right?
Right.
So that's the part I also don't get. It's okay, you left behind a legacy. A legacy of what? Of doing good things to help people in this small time frame that we have available on Earth, so that maybe we people can continue to do good things and continue to lead better lives than you did. Or is it for ego purposes, to be look at this great thing I did, and only this time period from this century to this century, people will really remember or know what I did, or even care about what I did, or even consider it good?
I know I'm going to kind of go back on something that I said, but I think if anyone's thinking about either of those things when they're making something, then they're not making something honestly. I think if you're making it because you just had a good idea and you're excited about executing it correctly and you think you're the one to do it, or you just like doing that. Some people just like doing shit, and I think if you're thinking that far into it, I'm going to leave behind this legacy, or I'm going to win an Oscar, you've already lost me in that conversation. I feel like just being in the moment and making sure that you are doing your best in that moment with art or family or whatever it is, that to me is kind of the life experience. Dude, it almost feels like, I don't want to branch off too much, I'm just going to say this real quick. This almost feels like this sounds so ridiculous, but it almost feels like I could unplug from this life and go plug into a different life. You ever wonder what you look like from someone else's perspective, or seem like, or feel like?
So you bring up a good point and a good question that everybody needs to ask. Who are you?
Nice.
And you can say, yeah, I'm Wesam Quiche. I was born in Syria, raised most of my life in the States. I'm currently working as a professional actor. I have some good friends around me, blah, blah, blah. But that's all circumstance.
You're talking about internal.
All that stuff is all circumstance. And because of circumstance, I go, oh, that's me because of my outside circumstances. Okay, but what if I was put in different circumstances? I would probably be different. I wouldn't be here. If I was born in Somalia as a black child and I didn't have my family, my mom and dad around me, and I had to survive doing God knows what, I would be much different.
Yeah.
So,
nature
okay.
versus nurture.
Right. So those things change the outside shell of me, of who I am. What's the inside that doesn't change? That's what I think about. So I'm Druze, D-R-U-Z-E, and so we believe in reincarnation. And
is that a religion?
yeah.
Okay.
and only through humans reincarnating. And I always think about that. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen when I die and I go on to my next life? What lessons will I have learned in this life that will transfer? Will I remember the qualities of being a good person in my next life? Will I have to relearn everything? Will there be things embedded in my soul because I learned them so the hard way in this lifetime that the next lifetime I'm just intrinsically like, no, I don't know why, but I like this for some reason, or I like doing this. You know, and I always think about that, and I don't have any answers for that. But
Yeah, but what's Drew's? I've never heard of this.
The easy answer is it's a small sect based in the Middle East, in the mountains of Syria, Lebanon, Golan Heights, Israel, and Jordan. And we believe in like a lot of the same prophets, like Jesus, Noah, like not Noah, but like Jesus, Isaiah, like Buddha. We believe in Buddha, and we believe in, and we like, we consider some of our prophets to be like Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, because of our faith is based a lot on logic and spirituality and science mixed together.
Yeah.
And so that's the easy answer. I would say Google it just to get a better.
That sounds good. Like, that sounds like you're gonna talk to me in 2 weeks and I'll be like, dude, I'm Drew's now. You fucking Drew's to me. This is what this podcast is. You're trying to get everyone to. Yeah, right. I mean, I like the idea of this ending and waking up somewhere like that. Whatever religion that is, or a simulation belief, whatever. Dude, weirdly enough, like 4 people have FaceTimed me during this call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have to go? I forgot to.
No.
Okay.
No. This never happens. Of course, like, I'm getting interviewed on some other thing, and like everyone's fucking FaceTiming me. Like,
no, it's all good, bro. But before what I was trying to get to, that question of who am I? Where do I come from?
Where am I
What
going?
is my purpose? Where am I going? Why am I doing what I'm doing? All these questions, and we're not going to get answers from together from me and you right now, or solidified answers. But it always goes back to, well, first of all, I can't answer. It's hard for me maybe to answer who am I for me without going, where did I come from then? And a source of all things. And the idea when people bring up God being a old guy with a beard and on a throne in the clouds, that's so that's so basic. That's like, a person who has no idea what they're talking about made that up, you know? Because an old person is probably, whenever that was made up, is someone you would look up to. It's an elder. They usually were the wisest because they've lived the longest. But that's not necessarily true now. So that it's so dogmatic, maybe is the right word.
So you're saying that God is probably a teenage black girl that is just like doing double dutch at the park, and she's like, "Yo."
Here's the thing. I truly believe, and this might sound a little. It's hard to even begin to comprehend. I think God is our Creator is way beyond any vocabulary that we have. It's beyond any kind of comprehension, and the only way to even start to comprehending it, I think, is by self-reflection, by self-thought. Whenever you have great conversations like we're having right now, where we don't necessarily will find the answer right now, but we're just constantly searching, and then we find little clues upon the way or something, you know? I don't know, man.
I'll tell you what would be terrifying. I'll tell you what would be terrifying is if we died and we got no answers. Whatever religion that one is, I'm not that one. I'll settle for fucking 2 answers. Out of all the questions of this life, I'll settle for 2.
I don't think that's the case. And I think, again, we are pretty ignorant or arrogant as humans as a whole right now, thinking like, oh, we know a lot. We know a lot about science and everything that goes on, when in reality we don't. And I think if our intention, like deep in our hearts, is a good intention of like, no, I really hope I find the right answers at the right time. We'll get there eventually. So yeah.
I took a photo of you.
Oh, that's cute.
All right.
Anyway, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a great talk, Ryan.
I feel like we can do these sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily on a podcast, but just like I like talking about this stuff for like a lot.
Yeah. And we might end up with more questions than answers by the end of it, but that's okay too.
Yeah, but that's just means they're more accurate questions.
Very true.
You know?
I'd love for you to come back on at some point, maybe in person too.
Next year I'm gonna visit LA more. This year I just kind of hung back for family purposes, for a lot of reasons, pandemic obviously. So
yeah, man.
You know, yeah, we'll do that.
I appreciate you coming on, and if people want to check out your podcast, it's Face to Face Time, correct?
It's Face to Face Time. If you want to see clips, I got an Instagram. The TikTok is popping the fuck off right now.
Awesome.
YouTube is that's like the experience that I've cultivated. That is sort of the one to go to for full episodes. It's just Face to Face Time on YouTube, and that's it. I host it. I have actors, comedians, writers, directors, people in entertainment, a lot of comics.
Awesome, bro. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
Good to talk to you, man. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, dude, everybody, thanks for listening to the show. I really appreciate Adobe Radio, Nice Guy Digital, Peyton Grufik for everything you do on the show, Alexandra Gorski for your social media prowess. Thank you to all of our new subscribers on YouTube. Dude, we're growing. We're growing on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're growing. HelloFresh. Wesam 90. You get $90 free worth of food on HelloFresh. Be sure to check that out. Thanks again for everybody. Remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye.